One of the questions that I always get is, how did I end up in an interracial relationship? So I got to do my makeup for a date night with hubby. So while I do that, let's answer this question, right? Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Today I'm going to be using L'Oreal Paris, their new line Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. My shade in this is 545. In high school, outside of my race, for the most part, I dated black guys. Oh my gosh. It smells really good. So I did not always date outside of my race, right? I was definitely always open-minded about dating outside of my race, but it wasn't something that I went out of my way to do. It wasn't until I got into undergrad that I actually dated, like truly went out on multiple dates with someone who was outside of my race. And this happened to be an Asian guy that we had chemistry together. And then we had chemistry. But he was so smart and I just loved that. Not to say black men that I dated were not smart. They were also smart, but I was attracted to this Asian boy because he was smart. After undergrad, I dated another black guy, African. It was interesting. He cheated on me. Funny story. Not funny, but still. We were not living together, but he had access to my car, and he would use my car to meet girls online, and when I would go to work on Sundays, he would go meet them in person. Yeah. So that relationship ended, and definitely learned a lot about myself and not giving any man too much, because I sure used to do that. I used to pour into every single relationship like I was basically being wifey without being a wife. So now we're gonna go in and set our concealer. We are going to be using the Infallible Blurfaction setting powder. I am so excited to try this setting powder. It's just like, I can't wait. And it has a little hint of pink to it, which I'm excited because I've never used any setting powder like this. I always go for powders that are closer to my skin tone. Like that whole bacon phase, I never got into it. I don't know. I've always been concerned about looking ashy. I don't like to look ashy. Fast forward, after that relationship, I left New York and I went to PT school in Austin, Texas. While in physical therapy school, I dated one of my classmates. He was much older and he was white. So this was probably like my second time dating someone outside of my race. That didn't work either. It just wasn't serious. He was older. I thought he would know what he wanted, but he didn't know what he wanted. Sometimes age does not make a difference, y'all. So I like the way this looks. Oh my gosh. Of course, it's still setting. So after that, I'm going to go in with my brush and, brush off the sharp lines and things like that to blend it a little bit. But I kind of like how this looks. What do you think? Like, I really like it. So after that relationship, I ended up dating a Nigerian guy who was also in PT school with me. He was older as well. Still didn't know what he wanted. I was not Nigerian, so it just wasn't gonna work. So that was that. That relationship ended. And then I met my son's father. You know how to talk about you should not date someone just because of certain reason. Like, how can I put this? So when we met, he just wasn't my type, right? Not that there was anything wrong with him, he just was not my type. Like, I don't know why, because I'm not the type of person who dates someone based on their looks. It's just like the vibe, the energy, it was just off. But he was sweet. I was in school, he was working, he was doing good. So it worked. And we dated. It was fine. And it worked while it worked. So I think that's all I'm gonna do for my eyes. I'm just gonna keep it really simple. I went to New York to visit my girlfriends and my parents because that's where I'm from. I'm from New York originally. So while out in New York, my friend came up with the great idea that we should all sign up for Bumble. So I signed up for Bumble, and out in New York, yeah, New York men. If you live in New York, you know exactly what I mean. Like, everybody's ready to play a game. So it wasn't anything in New York. It was when I came to Kansas City, I got back home to Kansas City, that I got back on Bumble, and that was when I met my now husband, Garrett. So I saw him, and of course I swiped left. I don't know if it was left or right, but I swiped in the direction I was supposed to, okay? I understood the assignment, and I got it right. And as soon as I swiped, it said, "You have a match." I was like, he wants me. Yeah, so we met up a few days after that, and he just knew what he wanted, you know? Like, there was no me guessing about it. Like, he knew what he wanted, and he did not hold back in telling me that it was me.